Hey, this is Zach Wickstrom, CEO and co-founder of Breadcrumbs, and we're excited to have you here today to talk about your personal data and what you can do to take control of it. Now, with every action that you take in our modern world, you're also leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. Your browsing history, GPS coordinates, biometrics, and much more. This information is extremely valuable, as you probably already know. The data brokerage industry is currently worth over $300 billion. And to be clear, this industry consists of businesses that collect personal data with little or no consent and then profit off of that data without informing the data owners. And the data brokerage industry is projected to be worth over $500 billion dollars in less than 4 years. That's more than half the US military budget. And this underscores the immense value of personal data and the massive issues surrounding personal data sovereignty. And legislation like GDPR and CCPA, and even more recently, the European Data Act of 2024, are starting to challenge current data brokerage practices. So currently, companies like NordVPN provide tools to anonymize online activity using VPN proxies. And emerging data removal companies like DeleteMe help remove personal data from organizations by reaching out to data brokers en masse and automating the removal process for each broker. So there are a few problems with the current consumer offerings. Um, the first and most obvious thing is that these different security concerns are addressed by separate companies, which requires users to sign up for a host of different protection tools instead of just using a single product. And while data removal services are still fairly new, the overgrown VPN industry basically operates like a cartel, with leading brands sharing the same owners. And incumbent VPN companies are frequently exposed for intentionally collecting and storing user data, despite claiming to have strict no logging policies. So, this exploitation points to the fact that the VPN industry needs a trustless solution, one in which users don't have to trust a central authority, but can instead rely on a decentralized peer to peer network. So this is where Breadcrumbs steps in. Breadcrumbs is your personal data manager, and our app leverages the Sentinel blockchain to provide a fully decentralized and trustless VPN service, which is supported by a vast community of daily users. So the way it works is that people can sell their extra internet bandwidth on the Sentinel network and get paid in crypto, which creates a fully decentralized and emergent VPN ecosystem. And this is what Breadcrumbs taps into to deliver our VPN product. Now, crucially, this removes the need for users to trust a central authority, which makes us the most secure VPN available on Earth today. But Breadcrumbs isn't just a DVPN. Our AI Atlas acts as your personal data manager, allowing you to interact with your data for the first time. So, for example, offhand, how much money did you spend last week? Just ask Atlas. When was the last time you called your best friend? Just ask Atlas. In 2024, it's surprising that while we can look up the answer to any historical question instantly, we still can't easily access information about ourselves. But now with Atlas, you can effectively Google your own behavior. You can see exactly what your heart rate was on New Year's Eve, the moment the ball dropped in New York City, just simply by asking. And the best thing about Atlas is that it allows you to unlock the full power of AI on your personal data without compromising your personal data. The technology behind Atlas ensures that it's only able to filter and process your data locally and ephemerally on your machine, ensuring that your personal information can only be accessed by you and your authorized devices. So we currently offer Breadcrumbs as a freemium product, and we provide our DVPN to users at no cost. And this severely undermines competitors like NordVPN and Surfshark and private internet browsing, companies which lack the infrastructure for a DVPN and services like Atlas, as these things require huge blockchain communities that take years to foster and deep technical positioning to really pull off safely. On top of that, we provide data removal services bundled right into our core offering, delivering full stack data security with a single application. And we're not just a VPN or an anonymization platform. Breadcrumbs is a comprehensive personal data manager. But the core vision of Breadcrumbs goes much further than this. We envision a world of data privacy, transparency, and sovereignty for individuals. We believe that in this future, users will be empowered to monetize their own personal data as they see fit. And we think the $500 billion that data brokers will make in 2028 belongs to the people who created the data, not to the companies that steal it for a living. That's why we've positioned Breadcrumbs to become the world's first personal data marketplace. Our proprietary technology allows us to store encrypted personal information safely and anonymously, while still being able to generate novel and emergent metadata. So, for example, with our marketplace, businesses will easily be able to query how many users purchased a competitor's product in the last week. They can then incentivize these users to complete a marketing survey or even pay them for access to portions of their browsing history or social media activity, allowing for truly unparalleled business insights. This level of hyper-targeted data access is currently unavailable anywhere, even for Google or Meta or the CIA. This is why our marketplace will become an invaluable tool for businesses, organizations, and governments worldwide. Not to mention, it will provide money to everyday consumers, seemingly out of thin air. So let's take a moment to talk about where Breadcrumbs is right now as a company. The logos that you're seeing on the screen represent partnerships or APIs that we've set up with a host of different companies to enable the app that you can download on the App Store today. And we think this represents a significant technical and business moat, as each of these represent an extensive verification process in order to integrate with an app. For example, it took us almost 3 months to get on the Apple App Store because our app is like nothing else that's on the store, and their process is that rigorous. Speaking of our product, we've recently been endowed with some resources from the Sentinel Foundation, enabling us to do a full app design overhaul. So we've hired some professional UX people to come in and take our 2023 design, which we launched with, and turn it into something that is going to have an even wider appeal and is more intuitive for people. So we're really excited to launch this sometime this week. And stepping into the metrics for our business. So we officially launched on both app stores on April 6th. And since then, we've seen very solid user growth with zero marketing spend. We've grown by over 700%. And the spike that you're seeing on 4.6 is mostly attributed to me and my co-founders posting online about Breadcrumbs. And so this indicates strongly to us that influencer marketing is where we would put our marketing spend with a larger marketing budget. And if we can really make this pop, then the next set of metrics should be really, really compelling. So this is the count of total breadcrumbs in our database. We're projected to hit over 1 million breadcrumbs by August with less than 500 users. So this is significant because it implies a relationship between daily active users and the rate of growth for breadcrumbs. Now, a breadcrumb specifically is an anonymized piece of discrete information corresponding to an event that happens. So it could be a transaction, somebody bought something at Starbucks, or a GPS coordinate, somebody went to a certain GPS coordinate, or a website, right? Somebody visited a website. Only the person that did the thing knows which breadcrumbs belong to them. But the fact that we can have all this anonymized information and then also offer companies the ability to communicate with these marketing cohorts is completely unprecedented. So we've made some projections based on this relationship between user count and breadcrumb count. And our goal is to hit 100,000 users by January 2025. If we can do that, we project that we should have around 200 million breadcrumbs in our database. This is a very significant figure. So MSNBC recently did a deep dive on personal data sovereignty, and they revealed that the United States government has admitted to buying batches of consumer GPS coordinate location data. And this is exactly the type of thing that users are empowered to collect and monetize with our marketplace. And we've taken some third-party projections about the size of the VPN space and the size of the data brokerage space to make projections further out into the future. So the VPN industry is projected to double by 2028. NordVPN currently has 10 million active users, paying active users, and we think it's conservative that we might capture 10% market share because we're offering a more secure VPN service completely for free. So we're figuring that'll put us around 2 million daily active users of Breadcrumbs by 2028. With 2 million users, based on what we know about the relationship between breadcrumb count and user count, we'll have in the order of magnitude of 100 billion total breadcrumbs. Very compelling marketplace for organizations interested in purchasing data. And as we had alluded to earlier, the data brokerage marketplace is projected to be worth over $500 billion by 2028. If we can even capture 5% of that market share with our novel offering, that means that we will generate $25 billion in revenue in this year. So we think the 5% and 10% figures for the data brokerage market and VPN market, respectively, are fairly conservative. We've also done some bookend projections, sort of best case scenarios of what we think might be possible. Now, considering that we're offering a free VPN that's more secure, we think it's possible that we could completely dominate the VPN space. And not only that, given that it's a free consumer product, we could expand the rate of growth for this industry as well. So with 100 million daily active users for Breadcrumbs, we would have a breadcrumb count in the order of magnitude of 100 trillion, which is completely unprecedented. Now, another thing that might happen is that world governments will decide that it's illegal to sell personal information without the consent of the person that the information is about. It's a reasonable law that might exist one day. If that were to happen, Breadcrumbs is positioned to monopolize a market projected to be worth over $500 billion in just a few years. We think this represents a very significant opportunity from an investment standpoint. So our end game, given the size of the data brokerage industry, we expect that our data marketplace will eventually become our primary revenue source. And our vision is to offer all of our consumer services totally for free, subsidized by our data marketplace, which would allow us basically to become the Google of personal data. And by creating a consent-based platform for information exchange, we promise to make the world a more private, transparent, and fair place for individuals, while simultaneously dominating a $500 billion per year market. So we're actively looking for key partnerships to expand Breadcrumbs as quickly as possible. We're seeking up to $3 million in capital to expand our team and marketing efforts. With each new user we acquire, we collect thousands of additional breadcrumbs for our marketplace daily. And we want to foster this exponential data growth until we achieve a critical mass for our marketplace that would make it impossible for any would-be competitors to catch up. Now, I want to close out with a quote from Sam Altman, who recently described his vision of the killer application for AI as a super competent colleague that knows absolutely everything about me, my whole life, every email, every conversation I've ever had. And when he said this, we found this quite vindicating because that's exactly what we're building with Atlas. And it's no secret that all of our digital breadcrumbs are scattered all over the internet. But being able to unlock their value represents the internet's next evolutionary step. We're excited about what's to come and look forward to reclaiming our digital sovereignty together. Thank you.